You know, being a lifelong McKinney resident, I first became aware of George Webb through Northside Pharmacy. His pharmacy was the place to get your prescriptions filled when I was a kid. There wasn't a CVS or a Walgreens, these 24-hour pharmacy stores. It was George Webb.
His role in the community, first and foremost, was as a pharmacist. And he and my dad were best friends, and Daddy was the town pediatrician.
He was the first pediatrician in Collin County, and he used to get calls at night. And we didn't have any 24-hour stores then, so all the time during the night, sometimes I'd get a call and he'd say, "Who's on duty?" I could look out the window and see his light on. He knew who was on duty.
If a child needed a prescription in the middle of the night, he not only went to the store and got it, but he would deliver it if necessary. That was just his nature, and that kind of contribution to the community carried over into his work, into his roles in the McKinney Rotary Club, all his civic interests, all those things.
The minute he came to McKinney, he realized the importance of being involved in the community. And he just took off with being involved with the JCs, bringing to the city the importance about parks and what it did for the community and what it did for the kids.
You know, George Webb is a pillar of McKinney. He had his pharmacy since it was on the square and moved out to 380. He's been active in so many facets of McKinney through his community service work. He was a member of our park board. He started the first recreation center in McKinney.
I read in the newspaper where Texas textile mill, cotton mill, and for several years they had taken the profits from the vending machines and put it into a fund to build a recreation center for the employees. And about the time they got enough money and got the recreation facility built, they voted they closed the mill. So, and I was a member of the JCs, and the manager of the mill that was closing it down was also a member of the JCs. So I went down to the city hall.
And the city at the time said, "We're not interested in having a rec center." So he and the JCs purchased the building from the textile mill and operated as a rec center. It wasn't long after that where the city of McKinney said, "That's a great idea. Maybe we should be in the recreation business." So he was very important and vital in getting that first recreation center here. And that recreation center lasted until the mid-'80s when the McKinney Community Center was built. George Webb has served on the McKinney Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. He has served as chair of that board. He has served on the McKinney Independent School District Board. He has served on numerous pharmaceutical boards throughout the state, North Texas, Collin County. I think he even started the Collin County Pharmaceutical Board. He has been awarded the Citizen of the Year twice, with decades in between, and he never stopped working in between those times.
But it wasn't something that he stopped doing at a certain point. I mean, he has continued that commitment throughout his time in McKinney.
In 2014, the City Council decided to pass a new ordinance allowing parks and our facilities to be named after those that were still living. Before that, it had to be named after someone who had passed on. But passing an ordinance allowing us to name parks after people that are still alive has been a game changer for us. When the council made that direction, they had two people in mind, and it was George Webb and it was Dr. Mac Hill. So we were looking at a park we had to dedicate some years ago in 2016, and it eventually became Dr. Mac Hill Park. This year we had George Webb Park. We had the name picked out before we really started breaking ground on construction. So in the past, we were kind of coming up with a name as we were designing the park, or as we were building the park. So in designing this park, we decided to play off George's many years as a pharmacist and planted some herbs around the park that have more medicinal purposes. Before this happened, I think he would have been proud if we dedicated a parking spot in his honor. He's just that type of guy to be gracious no matter what. It's just incredible to be able to see the joy on his face. He's not a man who likes a lot of fame and people recognizing him, but he was very proud to have this park named after him.
He has a caring community service heart. Actually, he just has a giving heart and a passion for helping people. And he's probably the most selfless person I've ever known. It's always about how he can help someone else.
And Dad said, whenever your community comes to you and asks you to be involved, you have to say yes.
If you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. You know, and you need to take part.
To be able to honor a man for his commitment to the city of McKinney is a small gesture in comparison to his achievements over a lifetime.